Hello, class. My topic is immigration for the United States, Sweden, and Mexico. For an interview, I interviewed my brother-in-law, who's an undocumented Mexican immigrant here in the U.S. now. I want to get to know his experience being undocumented, living in the United States as an immigrant. I asked him questions about how old was he when he first immigrated to the United States. He said he was 8 years old. Him and his family. Him and his 4 younger siblings. He was 8, but he recalls that his dad first came to the United States to find work, get established, and then went back to get them after he was established here in the United States, able to send back from. He recalls that his journey from his home country to the Tijuana, Mexico, U.S. border was a 3-day bus trip, where they were waiting for his dad and Coyote. They crossed the border illegally, him and his sibling. He said that once here in the United States, he went to school. He assimilated pretty well with the culture. He didn't feel any kind of fear discrimination until he was in high school, when he first realized he was undocumented. He told me his first experience as feeling fear and discriminated was his senior year trip. They were taking a trip to Disneyland. He couldn't participate because of undocumented status. The fear of crossing the border check, undocumented border. He wasn't able to participate because he feared being deported, if being stopped at the undocumented border check. He also said he couldn't do certain things like apply for a driver's license, again for fear of bringing attention to his undocumented status. He's a prime example of many immigrants who come to the United States at a young age and go to school and can't do certain things when they find a job or apply for a driver's license or go to school here without fear of being deported. I think U.S. has come a long way now, like passing certain immigration reforms like AB 560, where it allows undocumented immigrants apply for a driver's license without the fear of being deported. And like DACA and DREAM Act allows undocumented students go to university and get funded to get a college education. For him, he dropped out of high school because the fear of Border Patrol going to high school and being deported. So he said he dropped out of high school, but he was able to go back and get GED. And now looking back, he regrets not further education, because he probably would have gone to college now with different laws that have been passed to help undocumented students attain a college university education. Now he married my sister, who is a U.S. citizen, and his daughter's a U.S.-born citizen. And now he plans to apply for legal status so he can be part of the culture here without being fear of being deported for his legal status. He asked me to not disclose his name because him admitting he entered this country illegally might harm his immigration application being denied or not accepted because he entered the country illegally. So I said, okay, I won't disclose his name. So now that he's older, he wants to become he says he's assimilated pretty well this country, even though he wasn't able to find work legally. He did side jobs that pay on the table, which I didn't find literature on immigrants finding work, how to find work like landscaping that pay on the table, and being a waiter that just allowing tips and certain things like that. Like I said, now my brother-in-law is applying for legal status. He hopes to find a legal job and one day be a U.S. citizen and be able to vote for certain things like president and vote for laws to help undocumented people like him become legal and find legal work without the fear of being deported. Like I said, the U.S. has come a long way since he first came in the country. He was 8 years old. Immigration has always been an issue here in the United States, but now we made progress in passing laws that help immigrants assimilate better to this country, having that fear of being deported to a country, have no idea, be deported back to a country, have knowing nothing of. Like my brother-in-law said, if he was deported back to Mexico, he would know nothing of the country because he came such a young age to the United States. He knows more here. He knows more about this country than he does about Mexico, the country he was born in. It's sad because many immigrants don't have the same privilege that my brother-in-law had, being able to work and not being deported back to Mexico. He's old enough where he can find good jobs, but he still has that fear of being deported and separated from his wife and child who are citizens of this country. Like I said, my brother-in-law has come a long way since he's 8 years old. He's got a GED degree. He went to school here. He assimilated to culture. He's considered himself Mexican American, even though he's not born in this country. He came here illegally, but it doesn't make him deviant in any way. Like a lot of today's news consider immigration deviants. We come to exploit this country, which he didn't. He just came to work. He came because his father came here first, gave him the opportunity for him and his family to get educated and better life than back in Mexico. It is hard to see him struggle to find a job to pay him legally. He has to work hard work like landscaping and side jobs to make him ends meet for his family.